one of the things that I have become concerned about as a parent, as an educator, as a citizen, is it is very easy to produce content, right? You push record and you start producing content. And I look at my middle guy, Liam, whose best friend's Ryan. He's never met Ryan before. He's someone who lives, in this little tiny iPad, and he watches these Ryan Toy Review TV shows. And he values that content, and I'm sure that content has value. But as we look toward the next generation of content producers, there's this level of responsibility that they have as the future producers for content of the World Wide Web. And of course, I'm now starting to touch on media literacy to a certain extent. But if you have this power to produce and make, there's this idea of being artistic and expressing yourselves. But at the same time, yes, we should get out of the way. We should just let them go and produce. But how do we make sure the content they're producing is accurate and valuable and contributing to the community in a positive way? Should we care about that? Should we not care about that? Does anyone have any sense of where I'm heading? And as a documentary filmmaker, Liam, I mean, you must wrestle with this a lot, right?
Yeah, I do. My students hate taking media law, but the fact is if they don't understand intellectual property law, they're going to be in a lot of trouble down the road. They've gotten better at that over time because they realize it's a skill that they actually have to have. Just don't teach media law by teaching case law about the media. They zone totally out. Well, what I find interesting is, I mean, with the collapse of the Hollywood system and basically the collapse of Hollywood and making 10 to 12, 15, pictures a year when the studio would make 30 or 40 or 50. Netflix, Hulu, Amazon have production budgets in excess of $6 billion next year. Who's making this? Well, they will get a showrunner. Somebody comes in with a really great idea for an episodic TV series, and that you're now the producer and you're in charge of this thing, and they actually make the pilot, and it's actually good. They don't have the business skills necessary to run the show. And I hear this a lot. It's the oldest line in the world. I love show business, both words. And students who come with me with great passion, they want to be producers. I say, great. Well, what do you know about movie magic scheduling and movie magic budgeting? Can you run these programs? They go, no. I want to be a director. Great. Can you run Frameforge Studio 3D previs storyboarding? No. In other words, there has to be connections of these things, that the passion has to be connected to the skills necessary to do the work, because otherwise the content that you're providing, one, will not get adopted, picked up, and sold. Or if it does, you have to be prepared to actually run it. And it's a big chore, But what I find out, especially on the passion front, is that when the students come back from their internships, they're far more passionate about their careers than they were before they left. And I think in many cases it's because they realize what they don't know, and that they have to fix that, and they don't have a lot of time to do so. But I think your content has to remain truly accurate to your vision, and logical, and truthful, and helpful, and humane. And I think if you can do that, I think you'll be successful.
Sharice, you're nodding your head enthusiastically again with that. I mean, how does a filmmaker go and make their content humane and accurate? Like, is there a process to that? Is it something they just do?
I don't know if there's a process. Actually, I was nodding my head, but I was also disagreeing a bit, because I honestly think that you should pick up a camera and make whatever you want. I think a lot of, honestly, I'm glad the Hollywood system is dying, because it kept a lot of marginalized, ignored, and neglected people out, right? By using things like professional, experience, must know how to use XYZ. And I think all that stuff can be learned. And if you don't know how to do it, you know someone else who knows how to do it. I don't know how to shoot, but I surround myself with cinematographers who are good, who shoot my stuff. and I pay them accordingly. Or sometimes I pay them with love, but we're friends, right? And that means I owe them a favor. So I am a fan of pick up a camera, right? I even printed some stuff for you. What goes in your smartphone filmmaking kit, right? I made copies, so you can pick them up over there, because I think I've had enough of gatekeepers, right? We got the chief gatekeeper putting babies in jail. So I have no more patience with gatekeepers. I have no more patience with people who are so-called in charge of studios, in charge of networks, in charge of distribution companies, saying you need to wait, or you need to be patient, or you need to have, your content needs to, look like this to be accepted. I don't buy into it anymore. So my thing is, if you're in my class, I'm going to teach, of course, the things that you need to know to be a good citizen, because that's part of my job, right? And your job is to, take a piece of that, of being a good citizen, and then going out there and make the content that you want to see.